I'm William Nozak, and in this module, I'm covering advanced on-page SEO tips. So why is on-page SEO important? Vital to understand and employ SEO the proper way. You can do it wrong, and you can break a site. We see it all the time. You want to hold or increase search traffic to a website. So you want to take the traction it has, assuming it's the right traction, and you want to improve upon it. About 40% of website traffic starts with a search query. People go to Google, people go to social medias, people go to a search engine, doesn't matter which one it is, and that's where they're really starting their search. That's how the World Wide Web is used right now. Google's algorithms are always being updated. We're talking daily, weekly, monthly, certainly huge ones quarterly. Multiple times a month, making it essential to stay up to date on the latest changes. Guess what? You can't. That's why you have to have an agency that does, because we see them coming down the pipeline, and it's almost like we're stacking plates of where we know they're going and what they do. And so we want to stay within line of where the digital algorithm is going, where the Google algorithm is going, where algorithms are going in general. As a business owner, you certainly should not be worrying about those things. As a marketer, you certainly should be worrying about those things. And to stay ahead of the competition, you need to know more than just the basics of keyword research. Certainly important keyword research, but your competitors also have that same research. So it's you versus the competition. It's you doing the right things, them doing the right things, and then you continually doing more right things because they're gonna see what you do and they're gonna continually do more right things, right? It's competition, it's war, it's the art of war, it's the art of SEO. These are why we need to understand SEO and all the things that go into on-page. On-page SEO tips, perform an SEO audit. What do we have? What are the gaps? What can we do better? Create optimized pages. There is a rhythm. There is a technique to make good pages that win in the search engines. Term frequency and inverse document frequency. Some people don't even use this. We pay attention to these things. Synonyms of keywords. Create long form content, page segmentation, and voice search, just to name a few. Perform an SEO audit. An SEO audit is an inspection of overall site performance. This is the elements on the page. And I'll just read them down here and expound upon them. Do all website pages have SEO titles and meta descriptions, H1s? Not every page on a website is built to rank in Google. You have to understand, these are functional pages that people need on the site. They have no use in the search engines. We certainly don't need to labor over that percentage of the website. There will be a percentage, 10, 15, 20% of the website. And even you're gonna have another set of landing pages that are built for ads that shouldn't even be in the index. We're really talking about those pages that are built to win in Google. Does every page include a keyword or keywords, or what's the keyword cloud, or what's the purpose of this page? And so do we understand what we are trying to accomplish with this page? Is it tracked in a document? Is the URL structure optimized for search engines? Do we not have this weird index.php/slug/category, subdomain over here, subcategory over here? Does it make sense? Is it a simple structure? Is it short as concise as possible? Sometimes we have to make them a little longer to geo-modify them for local businesses and for local searches. But other than that, we need to keep them concise, as short as possible, and right down to the keyword area that we're targeting. And these are things that we can modify over time anyway. Do images include keywords in the file name, in the alt text? Certainly if you've chosen an image for a page, you need to be able to incorporate the keyword or something about the keyword into that file name, or else you're using the wrong image. Or make it so you can do that so that you're not cheating and lying. Make the image applicable to that keyword, and that's how you choose your imagery. And then of course the title, the alt text, you can line up a sentence that includes that keyword. This all helps the SEO. It strengthens the SEO. We're not leaving anything on the table. Is the site mobile friendly? Certainly you're gonna build it on a computer monitor, and maybe you're building it on huge monitors. And now you have to pare that thing down and check it on tablet size and check it on mobile size and actually check it with a phone, because the tools that Google shows you are not accurate. You need to get several phones and check it on the iPhone 10, check it on the iPhone 11, check it on whatever the other phone is, don't have a clue. And so check on those phone types, because that's where people are gonna be searching. And you're gonna find really quickly that there are gonna be text letters that roll over to the next line. You did some padding or something unique and it's way off screen, and you don't have a unique margin that's all the way down the page. In some areas it's got no margin, some areas it's got some margin. You need to homogenize, uniform the UI as best you can. So what is the load speed? Use a tool, tools.pingdom, GTmetrix. These are great tools. I'll show you them in this module. And these are just ways to ping the page, see what the time to first byte is, see how quickly it actually loads in a search engine. Go and try to load it in a browser and see how quickly it pops up. You may have to change your server. If you're using GoDaddy for a server, yeah, your site's gonna be slow. If you're not using a performance server, don't expect your site, no matter what you do to be fast. If you're using a fat, bulky theme like a Divi, it's already inherently gonna be slower. So what you build it with matters, from the server to the theme you use, to the elements you include on the page, how many calls, how many images, what videos, if you're streaming a video in the background. All of this requires time. All of it is gonna take away from the speed of the page. There's always a trade-off between design and speed. And to me, speed's number one. And now, what design components must we have on this page to help with conversion? Do you have any backlinks? Internal links, what does that look like? Do we have companies linking back to us because we're authoritative, because we've got great content, because we're the source? And then internal links, do we have a structure that makes sense? Do our pages link to other pages that are content that should also be read along with this page? Or people also want to read these things? And then vertically, what is above this page? How can we get them into a funnel to become a client or to get onto our emailing list or something? So backlinks, internal links, super important. Have to know what we have. This is all trackable. We're putting the H1s, H2s, H3s, meta title, meta description, slug in a document. We're putting the internal links, external links. We're putting in this document, has it been re-indexed with Google Search Console? Can we check the keywords it's winning for in Search Console? Can we check the impressions? Can we check the clicks? I'll show you some of these things. Are there any broken internal links? Certainly you're gonna need an Hrefs or a Screaming Frog to check these. And then you're gonna check for 404s, you're gonna check for links out to HTTP. We don't wanna link out to things that aren't secure. Is the site optimized for UI? Is the user experience and the interface set to convert? Is it set to look great? Are the tap targets so close that the person can't tap the button? All of this matters. Tap target size, viewport matters, having a call to action in a first viewport. If you're on the contact page, I don't need to scroll 3 viewports to get to a contact page. I'm here to fill out a contact page. Why don't I have the contact page right here in my face, or the phone number? Whatever people need to convert. So create optimized pages. The more organically purposeful pages a website has, the more search traffic you'll get, and then hopefully conversion, right? We're starting with impressions, and then we've got clicks, and then we've got leads, and leads turn into cold, warm, and hot leads, and they eventually turn into potential clients, and then repeat customers. It's that whole pyramid. And so the more pages that we have that help us get more traffic that's applicable to our business or to the industry or the niche or the space, then it gives us more ability to develop a name, develop credibility, and get sales. So there are a few qualities that a good page should include. Navigation. There needs to be a header navigation. Sometimes there needs to be a sidebar navigation. Sometimes there needs to be internal navigation with like button type things that get you to additional pages. And certainly there's a footer navigation, or maybe we might call that a junk drawer. So navigation so that the user finds horizontals and verticals. These are pages to the left, these are pages above and below. Informative and high value content. Certainly don't write junk. Don't have a person on Fiverr write the content for your business. That makes no sense. Have a real content writer who has done content research and keyword research and understands the gap analysis of what the competitors' pages look like and why we have to have these pages and how we write them so that they fit within our brand and our brand messaging, layered with SEO copywriting so that it wins in Google, also sells our brand and represents us correctly. And so we have to have high value content, and we also need it to be long enough and to cover enough things, having a structure of H1s and H2s. So site structure, H1, H2s, H3s, slug, meta title, meta description, all of this matters. It needs to be in a document. We need to see how the overarching website looks. We need to see how the pages look and make sure that they're not cannibalizing other pages. and so that they're purposeful. And so we can get this feedback in Google Search Console very quickly on what pages are competing for certain keywords. How can we redirect some, add content from this page to this other page, redirect it to this other page, minimize the pages that are fighting, or make them so that they live independently. And then a call to action. Certainly the whole point is on an informative website is to get leads. It's to inform people, but also we need to, like a site that's a lead gen website, which is most businesses, is a lead gen. If it's not an e-commerce, then it's usually, if you're not selling a SaaS or some sort of e-commerce, for the most part, it sits in this lead gen for business owners. Nonprofits are kind of a little different, and then the govs and the EDUs, certainly those are business sites for those types of companies. But for .coms and for profit businesses, you're looking usually at a lead gen website. It has to have call to actions. It has to be able to convert. Now, term frequency, inverse document frequency, and I'm gonna pull up some things on Google because I wanna show you some things here. All right, check this out. I go to Google, I type in SEO, and I wanna kind of get an idea of topics. So I look at this little thing here. It's really cool. Image search gives you this nomenclature. So when I'm looking up SEO, I might cover topics like digital marketing, infographics, social media, logos, businesses, icons. It really gives me an understanding of what people are looking for, or what Google says these are topics under SEO. If I'm looking at this, and it's not serving totally on this, but if you'll look here, here's an H1. Kill this. There's content, H2s, tons of H2s, H1, images that are named after. Now here's the footer. This is not main area. This is what we call a footer. So it's not the same, it doesn't get the same weight as body area. So when I mention body area, I'm really talking about this contextual area here. It carries a ton of weight. And so if you look at this, this main nav here, the main nav is also not it's a general area. It doesn't get the weight of the body. So when we talk about main nav, side nav, footer nav, these areas don't get as much SEO juice as maybe the body of the document gets. Of course, having it across the site increases internal links and etc. and things like that. When I talk about keyword frequency, I always love to look at this. There's free tools out here, but here's one, SEO review tools. And let's just pop this page right here, why not? Inside this SEO document, I always like to check pages and see what the keyword frequency is. I'm also looking for inverse terms. So on this page, I've got marketing, which is a single word. Unless I'm targeting a single word, I usually don't even look at one words. I'm usually looking at the two words. So content marketing. This is under content marketing, setting goals. It really is supposed to be propping up content marketing, right? Content is king, setting goals is really about that. So it makes sense that there's a pretty high frequency for content marketing intros, search hustle, marketing campaigns, social media. Lots of good keywords here. What I might also look for is a high, like a word out there that other websites have on it that you see in low frequency. Like you only see it mentioned one time, but the pages that are in the top 10 index or the first 3, they mention this word one time. That's why I'm gonna scrape these other sites with a keyword index or density checker. I'm gonna see if I see any unique words on that page that they're using, and I'm gonna try to incorporate that one word. For some reason, sometimes that one word it's a signal to Google that this page is about this thing. BuzzSumo, also a great resource. So you've got the Google image search, you've got a keyword density checker on a page, and this is how we can scrape our competitors. BuzzSumo is really good. So if I pop in SEO, it's gonna give me this keyword cloud. It gives me a really nice keyword cloud, and this can tell me of other pages that I need to have, vertical pages. It might tell me about a category, and it might also clue me in on how the H1 and the H2 on those pages need to be structured. Also, when I'm searching in like an Ahrefs tool or an SEMrush tool, I can drop in a domain, or I can do a keyword explorer, and I can get tons of great information about the keyword difficulty, keyword ideas, matching terms, search suggestions, how people are using it, what's in the top 10 for the index right here, who's winning those things. And it really helps me to kind of see who's in my war report for this. Certainly I wouldn't want to go at that. That would just make no sense. And another tool we use very often for technical SEO is, and I'm not going to sign in here because I'm just going to show you one thing here, but Answer the Public, a great content research, a great tool that we use. It gives us this cloud of who, what, when, where, how, why, all of the stuff that we need to answer. Oh, I always love interstitials like that. Okay. So who, what, when, where, how. This helps me to understand more H2s. It helps me understand an FAQ section. And this really helps me make sure I'm covering things that people are asking, questions that people have. And it helps me to keep the scope of those pages within scope. It tells me other pages that may make sense to have. If I can cover something in 1,500 words, if I can cover it in 4,000 words, if I can break it down into 5 documents that all live on their own because they have different user intent. Really, I'm trying to figure out what's the user intent and try to be exhaustive about that user intent, what that page is about, and have other pages when the user's intent changes. So those are some really cool tools that we're gonna be using in technical SEO. All right, so term frequency, like I just said, term frequency, it's like, what is the keyword density on the page? I also wanna look at what is this unique word that I see on pages that win for this? I try to incorporate that word into the content. Synonyms, we don't, like if we have a page about golfing, use language like sticks, clubs, 9-iron. These are synonyms for this to help Google understand we're not just trying to keyword stuff. It just gets monotonous when I'm trying to read and it's the same word over and over again. Use synonyms, they count. The algorithm gets it. The AI is smart enough these days. So try to change the use of the word, like the variations, and use the synonyms to help that structure. Create long-form content. This is where we talked about be exhaustive with that page, but if it makes sense to have 2 pages because of the user's intent, then you have 2 pages. If it makes sense to have 3 pages, then you have 3 pages. You have as many verticals and many horizontals and many verticals as you need. Think about it as, here's my category, here are my subcategories. It makes sense to have pages that are subcategorical. And then under that, it's also gonna make sense to have topics fleshed out even further. Orkin does it really well. So research has repeatedly shown longer pages, they work. Words that are shorter than posts that are shorter than 500 words, they really need to be answering one very small thing. Page segmentation, this is what we're talking about, the different sections. So certain keyword elements comprise every web page. This is the header, these are the footers, these are the meta title, the internal links, the sidebars, the site structure. This is how it's not like a book. We don't read forever and then there's the next chapter. When we're looking at a website, we're scanning. There needs to be H2s. It needs to be sectioned off. We don't read blocks of text on a website. It's exhausting. We have like 1, 2, and 3 word paragraphs, and we use white space, and we use H2s to separate sections so people can scan down the page and see what they really want to read. So voice search, super important. As mobile devices become a primary means by which people interact with search engines, so too does voice search, all right? This is us having FAQs that are specific to that page. We don't need an FAQ page that covers every FAQ that applies to the planet. We have a page, and the FAQs that apply to that information from that page are at the bottom. And we're gonna use schema markup to mark that up. And guess what? That's gonna help us with voice search because we're gonna get featured snippets, we're gonna win for FAQs, and we're gonna get all kinds of good Google love, and it's gonna help us with voice search. We really wanna structure as much in question mark form, question and answer as we can. Usually kind of where it's applicable, but usually at the bottom. Certainly don't want all my H2s to be question marks because then that gets really annoying to read. So pay attention to readability, pay attention to make sure we're answering the questions that have to do with the topic of that page. Don't have FAQs that are applicable to a different page trying to rank for what those FAQs are talking about. Have those FAQs on that page. Don't have a generic FAQ page that's in general covering all things under the sun. That doesn't work. And this is how we'll win for voice search. Those are some advanced on-page SEO tips. If you need to watch that, go back now. If not, I'll see you in the next module.